What's up guys, DK Jones here, and today we are previewing the Hungarian Grand Prix, the last race before the summer break at the Hungaroring, which had its first Grand Prix held in 1986 with a circuit length of 4.381 kilometers. C2 hard, C3 mediums and C4 softs are going to be our tire compounds for this weekend. We are going to have 70 laps around the track, and the lap record was a 1:16.627 in 2020 by Hamilton. The last Hungarian Grand Prix, of course, was won by Hamilton, with Verstappen coming back from that crash in the formation lap and Bottas rounding off the podium. And the last Grand Prix we had was in Silverstone, where Bottas finished on podium and Leclerc finished in P2. And the race distance, 70 laps around the circuit, is at 306.63 kilometers. So Verstappen leads the championship going into the Hungarian Grand Prix, with Norris and Bottas making up a place. Perez dropping down 2 places behind them, with Leclerc in 6th ahead of his teammate, with Ricciardo behind them. Gasly stays ahead of Vettel, and Vettel rounds off the top 10. So Alonso still leads the bottom half of the table, with Stroll in that Alpine sandwich. Tsunoda gains a point with 10 points, with Raikkonen and Giovinazzi, the Alfa Romeo pairing, both on a point. Russell and his teammate both on 0 points, although Latifi gains a place on Nikita Mazepin. And Red Bull still lead the Constructors' Championship, with McLaren still ahead of Ferrari. A huge gap between Ferrari and AlphaTauri underneath them, but AlphaTauri only ahead of Aston Martin by 1 point, with Alpine a bit further back behind them. Alfa Romeo with 2 points, with Williams and Haas still yet to score. But without further ado, let me bring you to your hot lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix. So here we are at the Hungaroring to start our hot lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix, one of the shortest laps of the calendar, with the 70 laps, just 1 lap less than Austria, which of course Hungary have some history with Austria. But here we are on the main straight, the first DRS zone of 2, keeping on the left side of the track to open up our apex into turn 1, which is the best overtaking opportunity of the whole track, into the second DRS zone of the track and the last DRS zone of the track. Not the best of overtaking opportunities at the end of it though, going on to the left hand side of the track to open up our apex into this flat out right hander, and then we go up the hill into a blind left-hander. The drivers won't be able to see the apex. Onto the left-hand side now to open up our apex, making sure not to touch that inside curb. It would send the car into a spin, into the chicane, trying to straight line the chicane as much as we can, not getting too much of those sausage curbs, into a very technical part of the track, into the left and the right hander, and then this flat out left hander, and then just a stab of the brakes into this right hander, and then a straight to follow, slightly downhill and then uphill again onto the right hander, going a bit wide onto the curb there, braking at the shadow just under the banner there. We're at the last portion of the lap now, onto the left side of the track, making sure not to go too tight and get your wheel knocked off at the pit lane entry. But yeah, onto the main straight, DRS active, and that was your lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Into my qualifying predictions now, and last time out was quite decent. I correctly predicted George Russell to qualify for Q3 and Leclerc to do quite well, but without further ado, let's see what I predicted for qualifying in the Hungarian Grand Prix. So I have gone for Max Verstappen on pole. Of course, the 2 Ferraris in P2 and P3 might seem eye-opening at first, but Hungary is a very high downforce track. They call it Monaco without the wars, and if you watched Monaco earlier this year, you would know that Mercedes didn't do too well there, so I don't think they'll do too well, and I also think Ferrari will do very well. Norris in P4 with Perez behind him, and then Perez is followed by the 2 Mercedes, with Gasly, Vettel and Alonso rounding off the top 10. On to my race predictions now, and last time out was pretty average. I was one position off Bottas and one DNF away from getting number of DNFs right, but let's see what I went for. So of course around Hungary there won't be much overtaking, but I still think it's going to be a decent race. I've gone for Max Verstappen to win with Leclerc in P2, Perez having a good race to finish on podium with Sainz at the best of the rest position, which is 4th place. First DNF I've gone for Hamilton, and the number of DNFs I've gone for 4, which by this season standard is quite a lot. And driver of the day I've gone for Fernando Alonso. And of course this weekend we're back to the normal weekend structure, no more sprint qualifying. On Friday we're going to have free practice 1 at 11:30 to 12:30 and free practice 2 at 15 to 16. On Saturday we'll have free practice 3 at 12 to 13 and qualifying at 15 to 16. And of course on Sunday is the race at 15. And these are track times in Budapest in Hungary. But if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to like and comment your predictions down in the comment section below. And from me, DK Jones, I'll see you next time.